Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Dr. Amay, and today we're going to be doing a watercolor illustration. We just wait for people to join in, and then I'll start. Hello, Shubhi. Welcome, everybody. So you all can get your papers out. You can get your colors out, and I hope you all are painting along with me today. So first of all, thank you to Art Pavilion for giving me the platform today. They have amazing products, and the best part is they do a lot of free shipping as well. And they are a really old company, and they have incredible collection. So first of all, thank you to them for having me here. I'm Dr. Amay from the Thinking Palette. I am by profession a dentist. I am also pursuing a second master's in counseling psychology and art therapy, and I do a lot of watercolors. I actually do a lot of mediums, but watercolors is my specialty. And currently I am working on a series of watercolor doors. Today we are going to do, since Christmas is coming up, I thought let's try to do something on those lines. So a little bit of Christmas feel sets in. So I hope everybody is ready, and we'll wait for maybe a minute and then I'll begin. Can somebody just let me know if the video and audio is okay? Can somebody just let me know if the audio and video is okay? Alright, thank you, Shubhi. So let's begin, guys. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Shilpa. Alright, awesome. Okay, so let me just turn the camera and we'll arrange everything. Alright, so I think this is good to go, and I'll try and answer as many comments as I can in between. I've kept the phone on the side also to answer your queries. I'm using a 300 GSM watercolor paper. I have paints from Faber-Castell and I have watercolor cakes from Bianio. You all are free to use any paints that you all are comfortable with. And yeah, so let's begin. All right. Okay, guys. So what we're doing is sort of a candy house today. So there are just some pebbles that I've kept. Nothing else. They're not for the paints. My paints are all in the palette. And I've got brushes here. Hello, Parth. And yeah, let's start, guys, because I think the painting is quite detailed and I don't want to not be able to give you all. So what I've taken is an A5 size paper, and we're making sort of a house, so like a candy house. So try to keep your pencil as light as possible in the initial half, because there's going to be a lot of detailing that's coming in later. So if it looks a little light, don't worry. Once the painting starts developing, there will be a lot of matter inside. Okay, keep some music on. I like to have some music when painting. Just let me know if it's a little loud or it's okay. So a rough house, so like the roof and going down. All right. Then, so this is like how we would do, a house in school. So just try to make something like that on a very rough scale. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of detailing afterwards, but this is just to get an initial orientation of where we are. Alright, so this is the first design. Let me start with the drawing now. Okay, what I'm doing is giving a sort of a creamy layer on the top, on the roof. So a rough outline here. Keep it as rough as possible because you want to give the effect of some cream, you know, like a frosting. If there's any problem in the audio or video, kindly just let me know on the comments, so I'll take care of that. We're going to put a small cherry on the top. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you so much. And some candy canes. Alright, so we got a cherry. We've got some candies up. We give a little chimney to the house. Okay. So these have to be very rough, so don't worry about how it turns out. Just make it very rough. The colors are going to make all the difference. Okay, that's why I said try to keep your drawing as light as possible. Any questions, guys? We'll try to finish the drawing in the next 5 to 10 minutes because the coloring, I want you to actually see once the colors come in, it's going to look really good. Then we put like a biscuit as the roof, so you can make like a cracker biscuit, you know, something like that. On those lines, you can just make a small biscuit outline and give it a little border. It's always better to use a very light touch whenever we're doing the sketch, since we're not going to be erasing. Unless you're using pens. If you're using pens, it's fine because then you can just erase the lines. Anybody drawing along with me? I'd love to hear that in the comments, guys. Anybody drawing along? Okay, it's like a small window. You can make a small kind of a window here. Don't worry about the exact proportions. It's completely fine if you go a little bit here and there. And we put like a entry to the house. Okay, so like a roof. You see how this is sloping? Okay, you want to try and give that effect so that it looks more 3D when you actually make the final painting. Okay, so whatever's in front of you, you try and develop it in that set. How are you selecting images to draw? So I have a reference today, but normally it depends on what subject I take, you know. So today, since I decided to make a candy house, I had sort of got a reference of a candy house and then I'm developing on that. So I've got a lollipop here. You see how I'm drawing very roughly. The entrance. Just try and take care of the proportion in this area so that it looks like it's the entry to the shack, you know. Are you guys, or is everything audible, visible? Any issues with the audio visual? Can you all see the sketch properly? I'm making a toffee here. Okay, all good. Yes, that's great. Thank you. make one more roof here. So you can see how quickly the sketch has developed also. And you put another roof kind of a surface here. Thank you so much. Since I do a lot of watercolors, actually I tend to do a lot of rough sketching. So this is why I tend to be able to draw faster. If you all think I'm going a little fast and you need me to slow down, please let me know. Okay, and we make another candy stand kind of a thing here. Alright, so that completes a basic sketch. Does anyone have any question, anything that you want to ask? We'll see if I want to add more details. I'll do it as we go ahead. Alright. So we'll wait for another 2 minutes. It's 6:12. I'll wait till it's 6:15. Until then, if there's any questions, I'd love to answer them. So we did a very basic rough design. Now whenever we do watercolors, we always do them in layers. So the first layer is called the wash layer, which is the lightest layer. Next layer we start giving the details, and the third layer is where we give the shadows. And when watercolor paintings, it's very important that we already plan the light areas in the beginning and then we do the darker areas. I am making a sort of a candy house, you know, if you like the Hansel and Gretel house maybe. So I've drawn the basic structure. Now through the colors, the watercolors itself, I'll give more detailing. Alright guys, good. So let's begin. So I usually tend to work from the top to the bottom because it's easier, or whatever is comfortable for you all can work in that manner. Because it's a live and I can't really move my paper, so I might, I'll just work a little in this direction. So for the first thing, the cherries, what you do, the candies, you just give a rough outline with a vermilion or a crimson. Just give it an outline. Like a hockey stick. And then just fill some areas. So like I said, the detailing will be done in the next layer. So all the shadows and everything is going to come in the next layer. Now for the cherries, you can take a little scarlet or you can take a little crimson. Right now, even if the color, because it's still wet, the colors will blend a bit. You can just leave a little gap in between and start coloring. Okay, it's okay, just give a uniform wash at the moment and leave some areas white. Like you see how I'm leaving some areas white, because that will act as the highlight. All good. So you all saw this is a light layer, and watercolors, as they dry, they become even lighter. So I have couple of brushes with me. They're all mixed. I have brushes from Artichels, I have brushes from Anupam, I have Aurora brushes, I have Art Pavilion brushes. So I have all mixed. It depends on whatever I have. Right now picked up one, but I use a variety of brushes. Alright, let's go to the next part. So while this is drying, I don't want it to smudge into this area. So at the moment I can try to just put the biscuit, a light layer of brown, a very light wash, and you can take a little chrome into it. So the top portion looks like a cracker. So I have a burnt sienna and a yellow ochre, and I'm just mixing them to create this light wash. So first I'll be filling the entire painting with this light wash everywhere, and then we start giving in the details. Alright, so while this is drying, I'll slightly do the other areas. Again, in this area, what you can do is take a little chrome or yellow ochre and a very light wash. Okay, so it has to be very light because you want to give this effect of a glow. Can you see how dilute it is? So watercolors are translucent if you let them be. If you want them more opaque, you have to either take more color and very little water, or you have to layer them more. So this entire area. So I'm using a 300 GSM paper right now. I have Anupam's paper, and I'm using Faber-Castell paints. Okay, so while this is there, I'm just giving an outline with the brown itself, so that I know that this is the limit and I don't have to go inside this area. Okay guys, any questions, anything that you want to ask? Yes, so Faber-Castell colors I like because they are quite vibrant actually compared to the other watercolors that I've used. I find Faber-Castell colors to be very bright, and that's what I like, bright colors. So if you check all my artworks, they'll be very bright. So I'm adding the biscuit here, the border of the biscuit until then, because this is dried. This is directly burnt sienna, there is nothing mixed. Okay, so you see what I've done is, while this was drying, I just sort of did this area. Whenever you're doing watercolors, it's up to you, but depends on how you're working and what is your working style. You should try and adapt that way. Now I'm doing the creamy frosting area. So now this also is going to be more of this yellow ochre kind of a color only, but I'm just giving a slight border with the red. Just the border. So that when you give the color, automatically there'll be some highlight, it will be that there is a border there to the frosting. So just with the red, I'm giving a slight outline, nothing more. All good? Are we following? Do I need to slow down? Do you all have any questions? Okay, so for the frosting, again you can just take a little bit of this chrome. You have to see to it that this color and this color should be similar, but they shouldn't be the same. Once we give the shadows, of course there will be a lot of difference that comes in, and the shadows are going to change the entire look. But till the shadows come also, you should be able to make out that there is a distinction. And remember, like I said, watercolors will always become lighter when they dry. So don't worry if you feel that right now it's too dark. By the time it dries, it won't be. So it's a frosting. So you need to again leave some areas white. Normally in watercolors, we don't do white areas later on. We always keep the white areas priorly decided. But with the with this pen, I'll be adding some highlights in the end, but otherwise I don't keep major spaces left. Major spaces are kept empty with the paper itself. We don't add white later. Alright, should I just pause for 2 minutes? Hi Anjali, long time. I know I've not come online. Thank you for joining in. So I used to do a lot of lives till 2 months back, but then last month I was trying to set up this series and I didn't have the time. So yeah. So continuing this same shade here, I'm leaving this roof area empty. I hope you all can see how already it's looking quite bright. And we'll try to follow the same biscuit pattern here. So the brown will come on the top. We can put a little layer here. Anybody painting along, guys? Okay. Now this is the roof, the door. So I'm just making that, all right? I hope so too. You don't know how Instagram is sometimes. Sure, that will be great. I know because that is a lot of work and I am also going a little faster since it's a big painting and I want to try and do justice to the painting also. But if you all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them so that even if you all see the live again, at least the answers will be there. Okay, so I've done browns here. Now I'll take a little bit of crimson. Okay, in these areas where the roof is under the biscuit, I put a little light crimson. Okay, you can take magenta or crimson. I have a little magenta also, it's mixed in it, so you can take that also. You see how light this is first. So like I said, the first layer is going to be very light It's called a wash layer. So we are just filling in all the information. We are filling all the areas, and then we start giving in the details. I have a lot of tutorials actually. If you see my Instagram profile, there will be a lot of tutorials. I used to do a lot of lives. Okay, so like I said, I'm just putting in some crimson here and magenta here, and this is a little vermilion, keeping some space in the center. Okay, now while this is getting dried, I'm just giving all these nuts or cherries or whatever it is some design. Now I'll be leaving some space in between them. Here I didn't keep, the others I'll keep some space so that it looks like there is some highlight over there. You can add more if you want to, that's completely up to you. Put one or two on these sides also. So it looks like it's a continuation, you know. And don't worry about the fact that there is no depth right now. The depth will come in as we proceed. Right, now we'll do the other side. So here there's a roof. I'm putting vermilion on one side of the roof, as in, you know, there are you see how I leave a little whites in between. Okay, you'll need to start seeing that like there'll be some whites left. Guys, please let me know if everything's okay. There's no comment coming, so I don't know if you can not see what is happening. Hello Rupamji, so nice of you to join in. Great. So all okay, I guess that means. So you can see I'm still doing the wash. Okay, another 5 minutes I will finish the wash, because then we have to start giving in the details. Alright. Now this side roof again, there is crimson and gamboge or yellow chrome, whatever you want to use. There's no compulsion to stick to the colors that I have selected. You can change it to any color that you feel comfortable. Okay, here I'm making the toffee, so I'm adding a mixture of those two colors here also. So when we see, can you see this dry effect which I've come in? So this dry effect gives you this effect of texture. Okay, so here there's no water that I've used. So it's a bubble wrap, there's a wrapper here. So I wanted to slightly give a little crumply effect with the texture. Just now finishing the basic outlines of the house, as there are candy sticks here. And we're putting some 2 cherries here. Okay, thank you. So it's a very warm painting right now. The greens will come a little bit in the next stage. Are we all good? So you'll see how I keep skipping from here and there a little bit. It's because there is a limited time. So I wait for one area to dry and I start doing it in the other area. So this is a little magenta to give a little shadow effect. So magentas and purples give good shadow effects, and since there's a lot of pinkish hues on this painting, I've taken magenta. So you should try and select the shadow also depending on the scheme of the colors that you have. So see, a little bit of my hand has got stuck here, no problem, just clean it up. Alright, so a little bit of the last candies are left, and then we can start with the next layer. Yes, it's called the dry brush technique. The texture that I did is called the dry brush technique. So you can check out, I have explained even on my IGTVs on what are the different watercolor techniques that we use. So I'm just putting all these nuts kind of a thing, the gems or on this candy. The way I did the cloth above the door is a combination. I've done actually both. giving this lollipop kind of a thing here. Alright, so that basically completes our first entire wash. Only this area is left. Anybody has any questions, or can I now start with the detailing, because there is still a lot of work we still have to do. Any questions, guys? Are we all good? Thank you, Radhika. Alright, I think let's begin with the next part of it. So let's start with the detailing, guys. So you can take a dark brown, or you can just take a black. Make these cherry sticks. Now for the candy cane, take your purple. If you don't have purple, mix crimson and Prussian blue, or even crimson and cobalt blue will give you a good purple. Just take the amount of blue to be a little more. And just one side, give it a shadow like this. Can you see how I just did that? Next, for each one, a little bit of tip. Can you see now there is depth in the painting? Same way, even the cherries, we start giving a little shadow. So where the two cherries meet, okay, because this cherry is in front of the other cherry, so I'll give a little shadow there. Under the roof, I'll give it a little shadow here. Now I'll have to add reds over there, but I'll wait for this to dry a little bit before I give it a little more red. Okay, but can you see now there is distinction between the cherries? Same way, let's start over here. So for the shadows, like I said, I'm using only purples in this painting and magentas. Now under the frosting also, I'll put one thin layer, and you start seeing that they'll start standing out more. Can you see the difference from before? Thank you so much. Okay, even the borders of the roof, I'm giving this nice shadow to it. Okay, the effect is only going to come with the shadows now, so you need to start working on those, and then we'll put the final detailing. This has to be very watery because it has to just give the effect that there's something there. Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you for always being an encouraging person. Okay, while this is drying, let me just finish the biscuit. So for the biscuit, since we've already done this, you can just give an outline with the brown. And you can start making these nice tiny dots on them. And this area you start darkening. So automatically there will be more shadow that will come there. Yes, and you see now the biscuit is also standing out sufficiently. I am slightly hurrying up, guys, because I will not finish otherwise. So I will try to speed up a little bit more. Yes. So can you see how I'm just now finishing and giving all these outlines everywhere? If you all have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad so many of you are liking it. Let me just finish the cherries so that that picture is also done. So this is the door, and it has to be the darkest area because you have to put the shadow also there. Okay. So this is the window. I'm just making a little purple here and giving a little shadows. Okay, now we'll just do the greens first so that there is some break in the color. I hope you all have enjoyed the live so far. Okay, any questions, guys? Anything you all want to ask? So now we'll make the painting a little more beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll try and finish it anyhow. We got about 5-10 minutes more, so I think I should be able to. So can you see how much the difference the green has made in the painting? Okay, there's only one element which is actually cooling it, but even that one element is going to make a lot of difference. So all those of you who have joined in a little late, I am Dr. Amir Parekh from the Thinking Palette. I am a dentist by profession and art is my biggest passion, and that's how I started. How can we show the sky above this? What you can do is actually, I'll be making a little bit of a shadow on the ground. So what you need to do is this area, okay, you need to define it over here and then make a ground, and then you can paint the sky above that. This line has to come in properly. I will not finish. If I finish, I'll do the sky for sure, because there is still a lot left actually. But if I finish, I'll definitely do the sky. I'd suggest, if you're using a blue, what you do is just behind this, take a darker blue and then shift it to a lighter one, because then since the painting is so light, if you take a lighter blue near it, it will not let the painting stand out. Thank you so much. So at least I'm in a better position than I was 10 minutes back, because at 1 minute I thought, how am I going to manage this? So the only thing is, because we have a 1 hour, and I don't like going on to the next segment unnecessarily. So I try and finish it always in the hour. Okay, now you see how I'm giving some shadows underneath, because this is looking like an illustration, but there's no shadow anywhere. So now underneath, take this orange, the purple, very lightly, and just blend it up. Okay, try and give a little shadow kind of a thing here, so it looks like it's part of the segment. I have still not finished all this. I know you want me to do it. I really want to do it, but I really don't think I'll finish it. Let me try. Let me do a little bit of an area if I can. How much time do we have? We have about 6 minutes. So. Okay. Any quick questions in this painting so far? Because then if I stop, it'll be difficult in the middle. Any quick questions, guys? Thank you, Parth. So what I've been doing is just giving these shadows everywhere now. So if you all saw the painting 10 minutes back and you saw the painting now, you all must have seen the amount of difference that's coming. Okay, I would ideally do much more detailing than this also, but considering the time duration, I need to work accordingly. So I think that looks pretty okay now. What do you guys say? Looks good? Are you all happy with the outcome? Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking throughout the live. I know it's difficult to do that. You can see I'm just giving the... Okay, you know, you're really insisting. Let me see, now I'll have to do something. The only thing is the color is not dried, you know, the problem is that. And see, I am messing it up because I'm hurrying everywhere. Let's see. Okay, so in case we're doing the sky, what needs to be done is you will take a really dark blue around this. Okay, so around the sky you'll try, and the illustrations you take a much darker blue. And as you go towards the top, you start lightening it out. Okay, in case the live ends, guys, thank you for joining in. Thank you to Art Pavilion. Thank you for having me. My Instagram ID is at the Thinking Palette, and it was a good evening to spend with all of you all. So this is for you, palette and scissors, because you've insisted a lot. I hope you're still there. I don't like saying no to my followers actually, but it was only because of the time constraint. Otherwise, I always stick to it that I try and fulfill the requests. But then let's see, you manage it. So, okay. Please excuse me if I'm getting a little messier. I just want to try and show approximately how it's going to look. Okay, so you can take the sky as much as you want. Now I will just end it here because I really cannot finish it more than that. Yeah. So So I hope that covers your sky also. Anything else? Because now I can't go. Okay, I'll just add a little shadow here because it's looking empty. You're most welcome. I would have said yes in the first go if I thought it was manageable, but anyways, I think it's okay. So that's it, guys. That's the final product. Let me just see if I can remove the tape. Thank you so much. So that's it, guys. Thank you for joining in, and I'll try to save the live unless Instagram gives me some issues. Again, thank you Art Pavilion Products for having me here, and my ID is at the Thinking Palette. I'm Dr. Amir Parekh, and that's a good evening. Goodbye.